A move has just been announced that I am happy to tell you I can't make any sense of, not positively or negatively. A literal WTF move by one Steve Yzerman. I would like to speak to Kenny Cott about this because I need someone to tell me what happens next. This doesn't add up to me. Kenny, the floor is yours.
So the Red Wings are trading Jake Wallman to the Sharks and a second-round pick that they just got from the trade that they just made prior for future considerations. So
what's Wallman make?
3.4.
Okay.
So I was trying to dig up because I was like you.
So it cost them a second-round pick for somebody to take Wallman's dead body?
Yes,
okay.
Essentially.
So you paid through the nose on this. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, sure. I think a second round's aggressive, but here's what I'm seeing, and here's a tweet that I found pertinent by Matt Larkin. He writes for the Daily Faceoff.
Oh, I love his stuff.
Wallman signed his deal in 2023. His $3.4 million comes off the books. The Wings now have more than $32 million in cap space. Room for a lot more after extending Seider and Raymond. If you're coughing up a second two, Yzerman must have something major brewing.
That's why I said, what comes next?
Exactly.
Now, this isn't where we're getting Juicy Joe or whatever his name is.
Juicy Sorrows?
The juice is loose. Let's go. Get juiced. Juicy Soros.
It could be a number of things. I'm hoping either a defenseman or a goaltender or something, but something's brewing here.
So look, and obviously it took place during the second period. We were talking about Ullmark yesterday. We all were in agreement. Want a goalie. He wants roughly 7.5. And we were all in. This is before shedding more payroll and paying through the nose to do it.
This is also part of, by the way, why you remember last year during the draft, we were like, why do we have all these picks? What are we using all these picks for? We can't use all these picks. That's why this doesn't offend me, is because clearly something bigger is on the horizon.
I'm not mad in the least. I'm also not celebrating yet. Here's the thing. The Ullmark deal, I was never making it if you couldn't extend him. He didn't get an extension done with Ottawa. Ottawa just dealt a young, possibly really good player that Boston's going to use against them for a rental. Now, is Ottawa in a better position to make the playoffs than you potentially? Maybe. That's a major upgrade for them at goalie. Agree?
Yeah, and Friedman also, Elliot Friedman, wonderful insider for the NHL, reported basically that Ullmark is perfectly fine betting on himself this year and just not re-upping with Ottawa, so that's probably what he's going to end up doing.
So what happens next? I mean, obviously, if you chop the Wings cap space in half after Mo Seider and Raymond get an 8x8 in that range, they got about $17 million to play with. Is that fair? What are we doing with it?
I see it has to be a goalie at this point. Based on the Ullmark thing that we just witnessed, Steve Yzerman reportedly in on him
now,
for a period of time.
Now, what's old Juicy want? Little 5x5?
Juicy, I think, is actually going to want a little bit more than 5. I think you're looking at 8 there.
So you're thinking
7 or 8. Yeah.
8?
Going rated goalies, man. It's going up.
He's not as good as Ullmark.
He's not as good as Ullmark, but he's an everyday starter. And those are hard to – he can start you 60 games. And he can put up good numbers.
So you're thinking goalie and not score.
Goalie and hopefully – I'm hoping it's a defenseman they end up getting.
Yes, that's what I want.
Because if they do that, that is a home freaking run.
Okay. Now –
and they have the cap space now to do it.
Does this throw you back in the market for Kane?
No. I think this takes you out of the market for Kane.
Okay.
If you want to rap about it, go ahead. I think it's a little incomplete for us to just, what we're not going to do is fantasy sports radio. Hey, let's go trade for Draisaitl. No, let's not. I live in the real world. Hey, let's call the Whalers about Ron Francis.
There's been a review, Rico. Flag has been picked up.
Call the Islanders about Martin Straka. All right, now listen. everybody calm down. Now listen.
Go get Michael Pekka.
Right, exactly. Hey, number 27. He wears the C. Okay. All right, let's get back on track.
So can we go out and get McDavid and the trophy he left out there?
Man, here we go. Here we go.